clothes and stuff, didn't have the ability to make them.
Tom Orr's most guarded secrets. He's lived a life most could only dream of or fear deep in the remote wilderness of Montana, surviving off the land and relying on skill, instinct, and sheer grit. Over the years, viewers have tried to piece together what really goes on behind the cameras, the truths, the exaggerations, and the personal sacrifices that make a life like Tom's possible. And now, at 65, Tom is finally speaking out, confirming what fans suspected all along. It's a revelation that reframes the way people see him. For decades, viewers assumed that living in isolation meant constant solitude, endless struggle, and a life cut off from the modern world. Rumors swirled about how he obtained supplies, managed emergencies, or even interacted with the production crew. Many believed there were untold stories, hidden challenges, or unspoken hardships that the cameras never captured. Tom's new confirmation sheds light on all of it, not in a sensational way, but in a profoundly honest, human, and sometimes surprising manner. His admission doesn't just satisfy curiosity. It reframes the entire narrative of his life. It proves that surviving in the wilderness isn't just about toughness, it's about planning, relationships, and the quiet compromises that people outside the mountains rarely see. Fans are discovering a deeper layer to the man they've watched for years. His wisdom, his resilience, and the little-known truths that make his story far richer than reality TV ever allowed. This is more than a confession, it's a window into decades of wilderness survival, personal choices, and a lifestyle that few will ever experience firsthand. At 65, Tom Orr has finally confirmed it all. Tom Orr has always been an enigma to fans of mountain men. From the very first season, viewers were captivated by his quiet strength, rugged survival skills, and seemingly effortless ability to thrive in one of the harshest environments in America, living deep in the Montana wilderness, far from modern conveniences. Tom exemplified the archetype of a true frontiersman, but as compelling as his on-screen presence was, fans couldn't help but wonder what was real and what was curated for television. For years, speculation ran rampant, with viewers piecing together theories about his daily life, his methods of survival, and even the extent of his interaction with the outside world. Tom's life is far from ordinary. Each day begins before dawn, with tasks that most people couldn't imagine undertaking: chopping firewood, tending to livestock, maintaining structures, and preparing food that will last through harsh weather. Yet, despite the physical demands, there's a rhythm and logic to his routines. Every action is calculated, every decision intentional. Viewers often saw only snippets of these routines, edited for entertainment, but the reality required years of knowledge, skill, and intuition honed over decades. Over time, fans noticed patterns and made assumptions. They suspected that Tom had allies beyond the camera's people who helped him acquire supplies, maintain equipment, or deal with emergencies. They theorized about the ways he managed medical needs, transportation, and communication, all while appearing self-sufficient. Some skeptics even questioned the authenticity of certain scenes, wondering if modern conveniences were quietly supplementing his survival. While speculation remained just that for years, Tom's recent confirmation at age 65 finally provides clarity. In a candid interview, he opened up about the balance between survival and practicality. He explained that living in isolation doesn't mean living without support, it means knowing when and how to rely on it. Certain supplies, like medical essentials or specialized tools, require careful planning, and he has systems in place to ensure safety without compromising independence. Tom also acknowledged the role of friendships and community ties in sustaining a life in the wilderness. While he may be miles from neighbors, the bonds he maintains are vital for emergencies and long-term survival. What makes Tom's confirmation particularly striking is how it aligns with what fans had long suspected but couldn't verify. His life is self-reliant, yes, but it is not solitary in the sense that it is unsupported. It is a life of careful preparation, respect for nature, and measured collaboration with trusted allies. For decades, viewers assumed he faced every challenge entirely alone. But the truth is more nuanced and far more fascinating. It highlights not only his skill, but also his wisdom, surviving in the wilderness. isn't about rejecting help. It's about integrating it intelligently and maintaining autonomy. By finally confirming these aspects of his life, Tom Moore has given fans the insight they've been waiting for. It's a revelation that deepens admiration for his skills while humanizing the man behind the legend. The image of the solitary mountain man remains, but now it is complemented by a richer, more authentic understanding of what it truly takes to thrive in one of America's most unforgiving landscapes. While fans have long admired Tom Moore for his self-sufficiency, the reality of wilderness living is far more complex than the television show can convey. Surviving in Montana's harsh environment requires more than strength and endurance. It demands planning, strategy, and a profound understanding of nature's rhythms. Over the years, Tom developed systems that allowed him to anticipate challenges and mitigate risks. From managing livestock to sourcing water, maintaining structures, and navigating unpredictable weather, every task required foresight and precision. It's a life of constant vigilance, where a single mistake could have severe consequences. One of the key aspects of Tom's recent confirmation revolves around the subtle support network that has always existed behind the scenes. While he appears entirely self-reliant, there are practical realities that even the most skilled frontiersman must account for. Supplies, equipment maintenance, and emergency contingencies are essential. Tom explained that he has long relied on trusted friends and a close-knit community who check in periodically, deliver critical supplies when necessary, and provide assistance in emergencies. These interactions are not compromises, they are calculated measures that preserve his autonomy and ensure the sustainability of his lifestyle. This revelation also sheds light on many of the fans' long-standing suspicions. For example, there were times when Tom's hunting or trapping appeared unusually efficient, or when essential repairs were completed faster than one might expect for a single person. Observant viewers speculated about outside help, and now Tom confirms that the occasional assistance was both intentional and necessary. It's a reminder that survival in the wild is not just a test of personal grit, but also a matter of knowledge, resourcefulness, and smart collaboration. Despite the confirmation, Tom emphasizes that his lifestyle remains fiercely independent. The wilderness is unforgiving, and every day brings its own set of challenges that cannot be outsourced. Hunting, fishing, woodworking, and animal care are all performed by him, reflecting decades of experience and skill. The occasional support he receives complements, rather than replaces, his abilities. It allows him to maintain balance and safety while continuing to live according to the principles that have guided him since his earliest days in the mountains. Fans have reacted with a mix of surprise, admiration, and understanding. Many expressed relief that the skills and lifestyle they admired were not fabricated, but grounded in reality. Others acknowledged the complexity of wilderness survival, realizing that it's not just about self-reliance, but about creating sustainable systems that integrate help when necessary. Tom's confirmation underscores a larger truth. Living in isolation doesn't mean rejecting all contact with the outside world. It means making intelligent choices to preserve independence while ensuring safety and continuity. By finally sharing these details, Tom Moore has deepened the appreciation for his life and work. He remains the iconic mountain man fans have always admired, but now with added layers of nuance, honesty, and wisdom. His story demonstrates that mastery of the wilderness is not just about physical toughness. It's about strategy, preparation, and knowing how to live in harmony with nature and community alike. With his confirmation at 65, Tom Moore has not only addressed long-standing fan questions, but also offered insight into the mental and emotional challenges of living in the wilderness. Life in isolation is romanticized on television, but the reality is far more demanding. Days are long, physical labor is constant, and the margin for error is slim. Over decades, Tom has learned that survival requires not just skill, but emotional resilience, the ability to remain calm under pressure, adapt to unforeseen circumstances, and maintain focus even in the face of extreme conditions. One of the most striking aspects of Tom's life is the discipline he applies to daily routines. Waking before dawn, he begins with essential chores, tending to animals, checking traps, and preparing food. Every action is purposeful, designed to ensure both immediate survival and long-term sustainability. Fans often see him performing impressive feats of endurance and craftsmanship. But what is less visible is the strategic planning behind each task. He must constantly consider weather, seasonal changes, and potential risks, all while managing the limited resources available in the remote wilderness. Tom also highlighted the psychological balance required for long-term isolation. The solitude that many envy can be both a gift and a challenge. Over the years, he developed practices to maintain mental clarity and emotional stability, such as journaling, observing wildlife, and maintaining a structured routine. These practices help him remain grounded and focused, preventing the isolation from becoming overwhelming. His confirmation reveals that surviving in the wild is not just a test of physical strength. It's an exercise in patience, mindfulness, and self-reliance on multiple levels. Another revelation touches on the relationships Tom maintains despite living in seclusion. While his life may appear solitary, he has cultivated strong connections with neighbors, fellow wilderness experts, and trusted friends who provide occasional assistance, guidance, or companionship. This network is vital for emergencies, seasonal preparations, and maintaining a sense of community. Tom stresses that relying on this network does not diminish his independence. Rather, it enhances it by creating a safety net that allows him to thrive without compromising his principle. The confirmation also addresses misconceptions about the Mountain Men television series itself. Viewers sometimes assume that all challenges and successes are purely for entertainment or dramatized for the cameras. Tom clarifies that while the show captures highlights of his life, much of what he does daily is unseen, routine, and deeply personal. The work, effort, and decision-making involved in living sustainably in the Montana wilderness far exceed what television can portray, and his acknowledgement of behind-the-scenes support adds transparency, without undermining the authenticity of his skills. Ultimately, Tom's revelations provide a richer, more nuanced understanding of his life. Fans now see that his survival is a combination of skill, preparation, mental fortitude, and intelligent collaboration with trusted allies. At 65, he offers a candid reflection on what it truly takes to live off the grid: dedication, wisdom, and the ability to adapt while maintaining independence. This confirmation does more than satisfy curiosity, it deepens respect for a man who has spent decades mastering both the art of survival and the balance between solitude and support. The final chapter of Tom Orr's story brings the focus to reflection, legacy, and the lessons that his life in the wilderness offers to fans and aspiring survivalists alike. At 65, after decades of living in one of America's most unforgiving environments, Tom has achieved more than mastery over the land. He has developed a philosophy of self-reliance, balanced with practical support. His confirmation about the aspects of his life that fans had long suspected serves not just as clarification, but as guidance for anyone curious about the realities of living off the grid. One of the key takeaways from Tom's revelation is the importance of preparation. Living in isolation is not about brute strength alone. It's about foresight, planning, and adaptability. Every task, from hunting and trapping to maintaining shelters and managing livestock, is part of a carefully orchestrated routine. Tom's success stems from decades of learning, trial and error, and observing the natural world. He has honed instincts that allow him to anticipate challenges, mitigate risks, and create systems that make life sustainable in extreme conditions. The confirmation of behind-the-scenes support reinforces this principle. Relying on trusted allies strategically is part of intelligent preparation, not a compromise of independence. Tom also emphasizes the emotional and psychological aspects of wilderness living. Isolation can magnify fears, frustrations, and doubts, but it can also provide clarity, resilience, and a deep connection with nature. Over the years, he developed coping mechanisms: journaling, structured routines, observation, and reflection that allowed him to maintain balance. These practices highlight that survival is as much about mindset as it is about physical skill. His ability to stay calm, focused, and adaptable has been crucial in managing both everyday tasks and emergencies. demonstrating that mental fortitude is indispensable for anyone choosing a life off the grid. Another major aspect of Tom's legacy is the wisdom he shares with others. While he may not be in the public eye as constantly as reality TV suggests, his experiences provide lessons for generations of survivalists and outdoor enthusiasts. He has shown that independence does not mean isolation, and that collaboration with trusted individuals enhances sustainability, rather than undermining autonomy. His life illustrates that survival is a balance of self-reliance, preparation, community, and respect for the natural world. Finally, Tom's confirmation underscores a broader truth. The romanticized image of the solitary mountain man is compelling, but the reality is layered, nuanced, and far more impressive. By revealing the support systems, routines, and strategies that have allowed him to thrive for decades, he has deepened the admiration of his fans while offering an authentic glimpse into a life that few will ever experience firsthand. His story is not just about survival, it's about intelligence, resilience, and living intentionally in a challenging world. In the end, Tom Moore's life serves as a masterclass in balance. He proves that independence and support are not mutually exclusive, that preparation and adaptability are critical, and that living deliberately in harmony with nature is possible even in extreme circumstances. At 65, he confirms what fans have long suspected, and in doing so, leaves a legacy that transcends television, a life defined by wisdom, courage, and an unwavering respect for the wilderness he calls home.